and gentlemen, today I am here to tell you about the most dangerous martial artist that has ever graced the planet Earth. Their punch boils water. They rival the speed of a bullet. No, not Chuck Norris, but the humble Mantis Shrimp. Now, as a martial artist myself of 10, 11 years experience and having done extensive research on the Mantis Shrimp, I am here to tell you all about the crazy stuff they can do. Each and every person should know about the Mantis Shrimp, because if you see one of these guys walking down the street, you'll know to walk the other way. Then I'm going to tell you about their habitats, their unique anatomy, and their terrifying abilities. Most mantis shrimp live in subtropical areas such as the Indian and the Pacific Ocean. Some live in more temperate climates, however, so they have a wide range. The mantis shrimp will explore their habitats either at the day, the night, or even the twilight, depending on what they are. One is actually never safe from the ravages of a mantis shrimp. They're always out. They form little houses in the ground by burrowing into it, and they actually can blast through softer rocks, and the marine people, they hate it, actually. They're like, ruining the coral. And if you ever see a mantis shrimp out of their house, actually it's likely that they're attempting to kill and eat something. So you will never see one unless it's attempting to harm you. Now, the mantis shrimp has an average crustacean-like body with a thick exoskeleton. And then their tentacles are rather odd, though most crustaceans don't have that. However, their eyes and the rest of their bodies are where they start to get really interesting. Their eyes have 12 different color cones, which can see in 9 more colors than humans can. So we see the 3 primary colors. They can see 9 colors that we cannot even imagine. Although they're actually pretty bad at seeing the colors that we can see. One thing they do to compensate for that, though, is something called spectral tuning, where they can adjust their eyes to different light wavelengths, and then they see better in different scenarios. Their claws are definitely their most unique feature, however. This is a picture of a bladed mantis shrimp impaling his noble opponent and then devouring him. And then these are the most common by far. And the second kind of mantis shrimp, the fun one, is called the smasher. And they are cousins to the spear. And these guys have a shock-proof club-like structure, also bladed, that can do some pretty insane things. Now onto the mantis shrimp's abilities. The mantis shrimp is actually incredibly intelligent. They have the ability to memorize individual fight outcomes for upwards of a month and to tell their neighbors apart by both sight and smell. So they'll never forget your face. Don't mess with one. They have their own weird form of language where they use certain reflective light things kind of in their eyes to communicate with themselves, and some people think they can do that with other species, but that sounds like a bit of a long shot to me. But what do I know? I'm only the expert on mantis shrimp. Now, the spearers are actually a lot slower than their smashing cousins. They're actually about only 25% the speed of the smasher mantis shrimp, but they are infinitely more accurate, and they have a longer reach as well. So that's rather interesting. Now, the smasher mantis shrimp is kind of what makes this whole species famous. Their club right here has the ability to kind of retract in on itself, build up power, and then shoot out. And they release this punch at the speed of a .22 caliber bullet. It actually boils water as it travels and forms through a low pressure area, something called a cavitation bubble. When this bubble collapses, the shock from that alone is actually enough to kill certain fish. So the mantis shrimp can miss you and still kill you. He actually can kill you without even touching you. They deliver 1,500 newtons of force with these punches from the actual punch, not even including the shock wave. For reference, that's about 337 pounds of force. Bruce Lee and Muhammad Ali would punch with about 350 pounds of force. The heat that generates in these cavitation bubbles is actually, for a brief split second, about the surface temperature of the sun at 8,500 degrees Fahrenheit, and it generates a unseeable light. It's so very quick that we can't register it with human eyes, but if you slow it down, you can see it then. Yeah, they're famous for just destroying shells, like lobsters, crabs, it doesn't matter. And also they are horribly ornery creatures, and they'll pick on anyone and anything. Actually, as an example, one time, and you should all watch this video, it's called True Facts About the Mantis Shrimp, and it greatly inspired the speech. In that video, there was a segment where a crab just kind of ripped off its arm and gave it to a mantis shrimp because it was picking on it. So he actually dismembered himself to distract the mantis shrimp. That's pretty extraordinary. I thought that was cool. Researchers have said, specifically Patrick Green, a PhD from Duke University who studied them, the acceleration of their strike is on the same order of magnitude as a bullet from the muzzle of a gun. Yeah. If Bruce Lee were a fish, I think we all know he'd be a mantis fish. Now, to conclude, I hope that you've all had a good time learning about the mantis shrimp, where it lives, what it looks like, what it can do. And remember, if you're afraid of the mantis shrimp, stay afraid. Stay very afraid. Questions? Yes?
Do people eat the mantis shrimp?
People sometimes eat the mantis shrimp. Yes, I wouldn't mess with one, and I recommend it all to you as well. But in Australia, they called them the thumb splitters. Because if you messed up when you were handling a mantis shrimp, they would actually just shatter the bone, completely like detach it from the rest of the bone, so your thumb would just kind of like wiggle there. Pretty bad. Any other questions? I think I saw Dave at Curiosity. Yes, David?
You kind of answered one of my questions. Physically, show me with your hands how big a mantis shrimp is.
10 to 48 centimeters is what they say, so we're talking perhaps something like that. I'm not very good with centimeters, but then the 48 centimeters was the largest one ever found, and that's about 1.5 feet. So it's a very small creature, actually, and I imagined I was kind of interested in this. If that creature was as big as Bruce Lee, how much damage it could actually deliver, you know, with its fist. I imagine it would be quite significant. Yeah.
All right.
I think that's it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.